Okay, we're going to say two short halachot about the holy day of Purim. First of all, like I said many times, constantly, the Arizal says Yom Kippurim. Today has a higher potential even than Kippur, because it's from love, it's from joy. Anything you do with joy is 10 times more productive. Like Rav Chaim Volozhiner says, when you learn Torah with joy. So, today is a very auspicious and special day to pray. In Judaism, there's a halacha. If somebody asks you for a substantial donation, let's say somebody says, my house is getting foreclosed, I want to be homeless. The Gemara in Ketubot and the halacha says you're allowed to audit him. Maybe he's lying, right? You're allowed to audit. Say, show me the papers, your foreclosure papers, right? If you want me to give you $10,000, $100,000 donation, right? But it says on Purim, so the gabbai, usually when somebody poor comes to him, let's say, give me $100, I want to make Shabbat meal, right? You're allowed to audit and check in his background to see, but if he's really deserving of this charity money or is he a fraud? But on Purim it says we don't do that. You understand? Kol poshet yad, whoever gives, since it's a jolly, it's the best day of the year, we don't audit the person and say, oh, bring me proof. So he says in Kabbalah, the Hasidic say this a lot. It says the same thing on God. God usually, when we ask him for anything, he audits us. Do we deserve it? But it says God follows the halacha also. So it says whoever puts his hand open to God, God doesn't say, oh, is he deserving? Is he not? Hashem, today is the most best day. You should finish Tehillim. Pray for whatever your heart desire, because just like we don't check out if somebody really merits to receive charity, God also doesn't look into our books and say if we really deserve charity or not. Today is a big mitzvah to give at least one of your friends a mishloach manot, 2 types of food. And also this afternoon, or Kabbalistically this morning even, right now, you should have a festive meal with bread, Rav OVADIA says, and you should have meat, and like Shabbat, like a beautiful meal, and you should drink so much wine that you fall asleep, take an afternoon nap, and not know the difference between Mordechai and Haman. Now, it's also today, very important thing, Rav OVADIA brings, that to learn Torah, because it says, La Yehudim Hayta Ora V'Simcha V'Sason Ve'ikar. Today, Orah, what is the light of the Jewish nation? Our torch, our GPS. Without it, we're totally dumbfounded. Is Torah. So Rav OVADIA brings a beautiful halacha here in HAZON OVADIA. He says 1 hour before the meal, you should have time to learn Torah, especially with your children. Or even better, learn during the meal. Like on Shabbat, you could say Divrei Halacha, Divrei Torah, Divrei Mishnah. And it says, it's wonderful during the meal of Purim also to, like Shabbat, we say Ki Hashemena Shabbat. On Purim you could say Nagila Hallelujah. It should be a Shabbat, very festive meal that we sing in the middle. And we thank Hashem for all the great things, because listen, it's not a small miracle that happened on Purim. Imagine, an ancient Hitler wanted to destroy every single Jew, and not only did he not do that, the tables turned and we were able to destroy his entire Nazi crew. So, a very interesting halacha. It says usually if you have a very festive meal, a lot of people don't know this halacha. When you build a new house, for our developers, some people, they don't paint or finish part of the house to remember that part of the God is also in Galut. That Jerusalem is not built. The Bet HaMikdash is not built. There's a very interesting halacha. Like if a woman has like a $10,000 set of jewelry, there's a halacha she shouldn't wear every piece of it. You should leave something, just like we break the glass at the chuppah to remember that our God's house is not complete and our life is not complete. So it says the same thing. A lot of times in a very fancy meal, if it's not a meal of mitzvah, you should leave out like one very fancy thing. Like if you always have liver, and that's your like most luxurious. But on such a day, on Purim, since it's a Seudah Mitzvah, you could go the whole 9 yards. You could put any, like Shlomo HaMelech, you could put a king's table, and you don't have to leave out a certain portion to remind us. Don't forget to say Al Anisim in Mincha, and also in the Birkat HaMazon is important to say, and we should have a lot of happiness and joy. Yes. If you didn't say give for the poor people, suggested donation is to give them enough food that they could make their own Purim party to poor people. And we say Migdol also. You could please give me the Matanat Lavyonim. Have a wonderful Purim.